Hello, my name is Matt Kraus. I am the CV doctor in Istanbul, Turkey. And the title of today's lesson is Use Parallel Grammar Structures. What are parallel grammar structures? Parallel grammar structures are just sentences that all use the same structure. For example, every sentence begins with a noun, or every sentence begins with an adjective, or every sentence begins with a verb. Let me give you a couple examples.
This first one is not parallel. Confident when presenting. Raised $1 million. Manager of complex engineering projects. One starts with an adjective. Another one starts with a verb. And another one starts with a noun. The second example is parallel. Confident presenter. Persuasive fundraiser. Resourceful manager. All three of them are adjective plus noun. Adjective plus noun. Adjective plus noun. That makes them parallel in structure.
Now you might ask, Matt, why do we need to use parallel grammar structures? Well, when you use parallel grammar structures, every sentence uses the same structure. And if every sentence uses the same structure, that pattern makes it easier for the reader's brain. Let's take a look at a couple examples on my own CV, and we'll find a few places where I don't use parallel grammar structures.
Look at the first three jobs. Business communications coach, Motor Jewels, and Eddie Bauer. For all three jobs, every bullet point starts with past tense verb plus noun object. For example, trained managers, coached team, created website, cut costs, allocated budget, improved planning, and developed tools. But that breaks down under Progressive International, under the purchasing supervisor. It starts out with transferred functions, which is good. But then, for the first time in this CV, it changes to another structure during acquisition. So now the reader is confused because all along, since the beginning, every single bullet point was predictable. Past tense verb plus noun object. Past tense verb plus noun object. Past tense verb plus noun object. But now there's this during acquisition of a California-based company. It breaks the pattern. And when you break the pattern, you confuse the reader. So how can we fix it? Well, fortunately, that same sentence already has a past tense verb plus noun object. See this managed integration, past tense verb plus noun object. So let's simply take that and move it up front. All right, so we'll take managed company integration for merchandising and purchasing departments, and we will move it to the beginning. Managed the company integration for merchandising and purchasing departments during acquisition of a California-based company with $6 million annual sales. We'll delete the old version of the sentence. All right, so now we begin that bullet point. with our regular pattern, past tense verb managed plus noun object integration. And okay, so now let's move on and find example number 2. Remember that, at least on my CV, every bullet point should start with past tense verb plus noun object. So here's the next problem, right here at the very next bullet point number 3. Throughout installation of a new ERP system. This is not a parallel verb structure, and so it's confusing for the reader. Fortunately, the solution for this one is just like the solution for the previous one, because we already have a past tense verb plus noun object, managed the transition. We just need to move it to the front. So let's do that now. Cut it out. Move it to the front. Clean it up. All right, let's see. We start with manage the transition, our past tense verb plus noun object. Manage the transition for merchandising and purchasing departments throughout installation of a new ERP system. Clean up the punctuation there. Okay. And let's see, sounds okay. So I see a couple other examples in this CV, but we only have time for one more. So let's move on to the final example, example number 3. Next, I am going to skip down to the inventory planner position. Remember, our pattern for each bullet point is past tense verb plus noun object. See this? Kept, worked, negotiated, traveled. All of them are past tense verbs. But see the first bullet point here, responsible for. Well, that's not a past tense verb. So let's change it. For now, I'm going to change it to managed inventory turns. Managed inventory turns. It's a past tense verb, managed, plus a noun object, inventory turns. I've used the verb to manage a bunch of times already, so I'm actually going to need to find another word besides managed, but I'll take care of that later. And there we go. That wraps up today's lesson.
Remember, the point of this lesson, the goal of this lesson, was to use parallel grammar structures in your CV. Whatever grammar structure you use, whatever sentence structure you use the same sentence structure over and over and over in your CV. That pattern will make it easier for the reader to read your CV. And remember, your CV can always be improved. You can always use the same set of rules. They never get old. Improve your CV and improve your CV and improve it again. My name is Matt Kraus. I am the CV doctor in Istanbul, Turkey. Thanks for watching. See you later.